What's going on, everybody? It's Jeff here. Welcome back to the channel. Another rocket out of the gate for AMC stock, almost hitting that $15 mark intraday. Now, a lot of people had reached out to me on Monday, and there was still a little bit of fear and nervousness spread about Monday being typical to a few other Mondays that happened in the past, where there was a strong run up followed by a heavy shorted Tuesday, as well as a good amount of downward momentum. One thing I wanted to point out, and I said this to everybody in a video I made yesterday, was last week it was accelerated by Wanda really unloading a good percentage of their 30 million shares they had available. And on top of making more shorts available, it was just a compounding effect that really drove that price all the way from a pre-market high of, I think it was like 1580, 1575 to eventually close around the, what was it, the $13 to $14 mark. Well, I said, guys, this week was going to be a little bit different, and it certainly is. But in this video, guys, we're going to take a look at the charts. I want to talk about a couple things. And then also last night, I really dive a little bit deeper into some of the 13F filings. And I want to just express to you and talk to you guys about kind of getting inside the mind of how a hedge fund works. And not only how they work, but how they're literally able to manipulate a stock. And they have really taken advantage of us retail investors for such a long period of time, almost using us as their personal ATM guys. So stick around, you're not gonna wanna miss this. For those of you that are new to the channel, all I ask that you hit that like button and subscribe and join the family. And if you're interested in joining our private community, first link in the description, come check it out. We've got hundreds of members, talk stocks and strategies all day long. We'd love to have you. Let's get rocking into the video. First off, let's take a look at the 5-minute chart. As I said yesterday, guys, we do not expect the same pattern to happen as it did last Tuesday. As you can see, this is where Wanda really started to unload a good portion of their shares, leading to a lot of downward pressure, compounding with the fact that made more shares available to short, which really brought the price down, which will continue on Wednesday until it finally stabilized for the rest of the week. Today, another skyrocket out of the gate, and it looks like we're stabilizing so far around that 1450 range. Not to say we might not see a little bit more shorting happening for the rest of the day, but it does seem like we are seeing a little bit of consolidation happening as of right now. But I want to point this out, guys, before we really get into what I want to talk to you guys about when it comes to hedge funds, is this right here from FinCell. This is for AMC stock, as you can see. And not only does it says there's zero short shares available, and I know this is only one source, but the one thing that really stood out to me was you've got 2 million shares that were available to short 5 hours ago. Now, the market maker's 21-day cycle for the failure to deliver ended yesterday, and the 35-day cycle ends today. So that is adding to some upward momentum and some buying pressure happening in the stock. However, the shorts are still on it, full throttle, as you can see, corroborating by exactly the data that you are reading right in front of you guys. And if you jump over to iBorrowdesk, the data is a little bit different, but it still shows 1.2 million shares available to short end of day yesterday, and now there's just 3,000 shares to short. Couple that with 81 million shares in volume, and we are just a little bit over halfway through the day. I do want to point this out too, guys. There is still a lot of options volume happening in AMC stock. I hope by now all of you guys really got to see my video that I posted on Saturday. All right, and I'm not telling anybody how to really play their options. I just wanted to really bring attention and awareness to the fact of the amount of out of the money options that are expiring are increasing more and more every single day, or every single week, I should say. So it's one thing I really wanted to point out to you guys. But let's get into what I wanted to really dive deeper in. So I was taking a look at the 13F filings, and a couple things had stood out to me. First of all, Citadel right here, you've got the shares that they had purchased, all right, and you got their calls and their puts, and it shows an average price, and this probably shows just an average amount of shares. That means that they didn't buy 724,000 shares on a specific date at 617. This is an average of their compiled, and they're buying, they're selling, and so forth. And then so another thing I want to mention, guys, as you can just see, this is AMC right here. If you jump over to Microvision, all right, another stock that is heavily shorted, okay, has a little bit of speculation running on. Sorry, guys, for the noise in the background. It's summertime and these motorcycles rip around here. But Microvision has a little bit of the same feel to it. It's heavily shorted. They feel like it's way overvalued. And I noticed the same thing with Citadel right here. Shares, calls, and puts, right? Jumped over to Palantir, and there's many more. I just wanted to jump over this. Palantir was the same thing. That, this is a company that investors don't really per se like that much right now because they don't get profit right away. They give out free trials, all right, and their verticals take a long time to scale. However, once they attach onto a client, it is a long-term client that is very, very profitable. It's not that immediate, return like investors like. But let's just jump back over to AMC just to take a look at this. So I'm literally sitting here and I'm doing a little bit of research, okay, on exactly how this works. I'm doing just some thinking myself, and I'm literally like, this company, this hedge fund, has literally been able to buy a call, buy a put. And a lot of people say, well, if you buy a call the same day as you buy a put, and let's say your expiration is 2 months out, it kind of cancels out each other. Well, don't forget, as the price moves up and the price moves down, you can get in and out of those positions. Okay. So as the price moves up, their puts become, they're negative in value. All right. They lose value, and their calls become more profitable. So they will unload some of those calls to gain some profits. Well, if you think to yourself, well, they're able to literally manipulate the stock price by continuing to use these 724,000 shares to add to the buying pressure to drive the stock price up. And then what happens when they want the price to go down to be able to unload some of their puts? They just jump over to the other side and short it and short it and short it. And it literally got me thinking, especially for the certain stocks. And I looked up a few more. I'm not going to mention every single one, but I want to mention these three of AMC, Microvision, and Palantir. It's like the perfect combo right there. One, they are heavily shorted. Okay. Two, Wall Street just feels like all three of these stocks are way overvalued, and they don't have an insane market cap to where a hedge fund like Citadel can literally take their power, come in here, manipulate the price, and literally just be scooping from retail investors on every single side. On the high side, on the low side, shit, when the stock goes sideways, they're still scooping from us. And I dived even, like I said, further. I went to a bunch of different stocks just to see this. And there was one thing that really stood out to me was that it's low float, or I'm sorry, it's low market cap, and it's stocks that Wall Street just says are insanely overvalued. Okay. And so I want to come on here just to kind of give you guys, really just, kind of my personal perspective of what they've done to us. Now, I've been in the market for a long period of time, and I feel like I was pretty well educated on understanding charts, understanding patterns, understanding cycles, the fundamentals, the basics of how the market works, okay, reading balance sheets and so forth. And I knew a little bit of manipulation, and I feel like a lot of, for myself, because I got in, pretty much almost pre-social media, that you always felt that, these institutional investors and the hedge funds just were privy to knowledge way before it ever came to us. You know what I mean? Like my dad used to get the Investor's Business Daily, where you read in the newspaper. By the time that information's passed to you, a lifetime has happened. You know what I mean? And it's accelerated so much with the power of the internet and social media. But I don't feel that, my outlook and my perspective of these hedge funds really manipulating a stock was as exposed as it is until I really got heavily invested into AMC. Guys, I really just want to say that, one, we are all on an insane movement, okay? And personally, for myself, we all have, financial needs and financial responsibilities, and that's why I've set a specific amount of shares and money that I've allocated towards AMC stock. But we are a part of a movement that it's gaining traction. I think in some senses pretty quick, and in other senses maybe a little bit slower than we'd like. But we are a part of a movement that is really going to expose a big part of manipulation, that a lot of people I don't think have really understood. So, guys, I'm going to keep you posted. This is something I really just want to talk about, as last night I'm going through my computer, after I couldn't sleep for a little while, and it was kind of just really got my mind spinning. So I wanted to share it with you guys. But guys, we're off to a great start. It's Tuesday. It looks like AMC might, be able to close into the green for another day to kick off the week. And that's it, guys. I'll see you in the next one.